guys, I'm Tamara.
I'm Leah.
I'm Lamar.
And I am Hada.
And together we are the What is Dominance team. Let me tell you a little bit more about why we chose to do this project. So, we realized we were struggling while studying, and when we tried to seek help from our teachers, they just told us to study more. This is the answer we always hear. So, we decided to take matters into our own hands and work together as a team. Here's what we conclude.
There are two hemispheres of the brain. We have the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. And both hemispheres indicate your more dominant side of the brain and how you act and how you study.
You can either be right dominant or left dominant, or you can be both.
What if I'm right dominant?
What if I'm left dominant?
Calm down. I will be talking about the right dominant struggles now. There are three common struggles, which are language difficulties, struggle with writing or speaking, logical reasoning issues, struggle with critical thinking and problem solving, difficulty with verbal memory. They struggle remembering words, names, and verbal instructions.
Moving on, I'm gonna talk about the left hemisphere struggles. The first struggle is creative and imagination. Troubles with the creative thinking, imagination, and artistic expression. The second struggle is right motor control difficulties. Difficulties with movement and coordination on the right side of the body, which is controlled by the left hemisphere. And the third struggle is recognition of emotions. Trouble recognizing emotions in others, especially non-verbal cues like facial expressions.
And to show that these are common problems, we interviewed students who expressed their struggles to us last year. We suggested some solutions, and now in these interviews, we wanted to see if these solutions actually had an effect. So last year, I still remember from our science fair project that you told us about a few of your struggles with geography, history, and civics, which is pretty common when you're a right brain dominant. We provided you with a few study methods, and I just want your feedback on whether if they worked or not. Just give us your honest opinion about them.
So I tried concept maps and I tried listening to music and also highlighting my notes, and actually it worked with both civics and history, and I started memorizing the lesson more and I got good grades. But in geography it didn't really help out and my grades kind of stayed the same.
Okay, so now we're gonna do the interactive games and we're gonna indicate their more preference depending on their more dominant side of the brain by them raising the banners every time I ask a question. So first question, do you prefer following clear instructions when completing tasks? Do you enjoy artistic activities like drawing, painting, or music? Are you more comfortable solving problems that involve numbers or equations? Do you often get lost in your imagination or daydreaming? Do you enjoy organizing tasks and sticking to a detailed plan? Do you enjoy brainstorming or coming up with creative ideas in groups? Okay. Are you good at remembering facts and specific details? Do you prefer thinking about the big picture rather than focusing on the small details? Do you feel more comfortable working with the data and facts than abstract ideas? Okay. Are you energized by exploring new possibilities or abstract ideas? Do you find it easier to stick to a routine and a schedule ولا إنه however it comes?
After testing both Dani and Batul to find out their brain dominance, we found out that Batul was left dominant and Dani was right dominant. And their differences were really evident when we did this interactive yes and no question game to find out what their differences were. When we asked the question about arts and crafts and drawing, Dani said that he did like to draw, which is the right side quality, but Batul said she didn't, which makes sense since she is left dominant. This shows that brain dominance really does affect your personality and what you like and dislike.
Okay, so we're gonna be analyzing the more dominant side of the brain depending on some questions for interactive game for you guys since you're in the English department. I'm gonna start asking you the questions and you're gonna answer depending on your more preferred answer. Do you believe that teaching literature is as important as teaching writing skills? Do you often incorporate technology into your lessons? Do you think discussing controversial themes in literature is essential for students' growth? Do you prefer structured lesson plans over more spontaneous teaching methods? Okay. Have you ever used creative projects? Have you ever used creative projects as a primary assessment tool in your classroom? Do you encourage students to express personal interpretations of texts? Do you focus primarily annotation? Do you focus primarily on classic literature in your curriculum? Do you believe that grammar instruction is essential for students' writing success? Have you ever used multimedia resources such as films, podcasts, or websites to enhance your literature? Last question. Do you think that critical thinking skills are more important than memorization in your subject area?
After testing both Miss Iman and the stage judge for their brain dominance, we found that they are opposite brain dominant. Miss Iman is left and the stage judge is right. And this really shows in the way that they teach their classes. So in this interactive game, we gave them yes or no questions to show the difference between right dominance teaching methods and left dominance teaching methods.
But Tamara, my left brain is dominant. Does that mean that my right side doesn't work?
No, the two hemispheres communicate by something called the corpus callosum.
What is the corpus callosum?
The corpus callosum is what helps the two hemispheres communicate by sending electrical signals from one hemisphere to another. But wait, what are the cases in which the two hemispheres need to coordinate?
I think that they work in many cases, but some of them are motor control coordination, we have cognitive integration, sensory integration, and we have the communication of sensory information. But what would happen if the connection was cut off?
What do you think would happen if the connection was cut off? We need the two hemispheres to communicate to be able to live our everyday life. If the connection is cut off, it will cause something called split brain syndrome, which will cause a malfunction in our bodies and make it harder to live our everyday life. Hey Leah, have you ever thought about what you want to be when you grow up?
Actually, I just wanted to ask you about this since we have been testing a lot of people using surveys for the more dominant side of their brain. Does that affect on the career you want to become when you grow up?
Yes, of course it affects on the career paths. There are many career paths suitable for left side individuals because they use analytic skills and logic. But the careers suitable for the right side individuals use creativity and emotional connection to their job. Or you can have overlap careers. No matter what side of the brain you are, you can do a few careers that require both logic and creativity.
As shown on this visual, we represented the career paths that are suitable for each side of the more dominant side of the brain. For left brain dominant individuals, some people can be accountants, engineers, data analysts. We can also be a lawyer since they all require logic, they require precision, analytical skills, and asymmetric approach to handling numbers and regulations. As for the right brain dominant individuals, they can choose to be a graphic designer, writer, poet, musician, composer, art director, and many more careers, since it all requires creative vision, the ability to oversee artistic projects. They also require a lot of imaginative storytelling and emotional expressions.
Now moving on to the overlapping careers that are suitable for both dominant, whether you're right side dominant or left side dominant or both. You can either be an entrepreneur because it combines logical business planning with creative problem solving and visions, or you can be an architect because it requires technical precision for structural designs alongside creativity for visions and aesthetics.
Have you ever thought about your more dominant side of the brain?
Well, we're here to tell you all about it. This is a self-assessment, so grab a pen and a paper and take notes on which qualities you relate to.
So, for the left side dominance, some qualities we have are being a verbal learner, you carefully plan ahead, also you're highly organized, you prefer a formal study space, and you use reasoning and logic, and you're very good at following order, meaning you like lists, logic, and you like a lot of planning to continue your whole day.
Now moving on to the right side dominant qualities, we have many, some of them being a visual learner, preferring a varied order, you struggle to stay organized, music helps you focus, you prefer an informal study or work setting, and you prefer to improvise and be spontaneous rather than planning ahead. We hope this project helped you learn more about yourself and about your more dominant hemisphere of the brain.
And for now,
Thank you for watching!